York delegation.
Oh, so enthusiastic, he had to leave.
Can't watch him still without thinking of his bad lip reading take. But last night, Ted Cruz said, as we're watching Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz said that, you know, people shouldn't stay home in November.
Right.
Ted Cruz should have stayed home last night.
He should have stayed home.
Because if his intent was to hurt Donald Trump, all he did was help. He helped. Make him look like a sympathetic figure. Not easy to do. And Ted Cruz, it was an embarrassing moment for him. He hurt himself. I think most everybody in the hall thought that he hurt his political prospects for the future. It's just a mess. It's July 21st, everybody. We're at day 3, live again from Cleveland, the site of the Republican National Convention. Tonight's day 4. Along with Joe, me, and Willie, we have managing editors of Bloomberg Politics and co-hosts of With All Due Respect, Mark Halperin, and John Got them both?
Wow. Yeah.
Jesse, how did you do that?
Wow. And the legendary columnist and MSNBC contributor,
legendary,
Mike
come on.
So
legendary.
There he is.
There were boos for Cruz. This was supposed to be the rollout of Mike Pence, who, by the way, was kind of...
Mike did a good job. Yeah. Let's talk really quickly. Mike Barnicle, you've been to quite a few of these. Yeah. I think Cruz, once again, too clever by half. And forget about Donald Trump. There were some stupid people out there, and there are stupid people out there that write for magazines who read my tweet last night when I said Cruz should have just stayed home. I wasn't talking about for Donald Trump's benefit. I was talking about for Ted Cruz's benefit. Play it safe and be a wimp like Marco Rubio and just send a video. But no, he just killed himself last night.
In Dropbox.
It was clearly calculated. I mean, it was calculated to what happens in November, and he's taking a risk, a gamble that Trump is going to lose. It was an absolute portrait in smugness, though. His delivery, I mean, he was oozing smugness.
I forgot how much I missed that guy.
Again, Willie, for the first time in a long time, Donald Trump actually looks like a sympathetic figure. Right. He comes down and he's just sitting there watching his son and he's smiling. He doesn't attack Cruz. You know, maybe it's a conspiracy theory. I wonder if Trump knew all along what he was going to do and decided let him hang himself.
Well, that's an interesting point, because a lot of people were saying they were shocked and stunned. I can't believe he didn't endorse Donald Trump. The campaign had that speech well before in the form you heard it last night. There was no endorsement in the speech that was submitted. There was no endorsement in the speech that the press received at about 8 o'clock. So the people inside the campaign knew this was coming, and it made for an incredible piece of political theater, because as he got to the end and it was clear he wasn't going to endorse, the crowd rises up, and then on television, like it was professional wrestling, you cut to a shot, and here comes Donald Trump into the room staring from the back of the room.
You know,
it's incredible.
So, and by the way, and he's just smiling while the whole place is going crazy.
This is what he does. He jumps right into.
You know, I talked to people in the Trump organization last night after this happened. No anger. I mean,
why would there? This is fantastic.
Nobody was venting, and it goes into what. And I can say this now because he said it in the press. I talked to Donald a couple days ago in the middle of the Melania dust-up to get off the record stuff. And he was like, listen, he said, a mistake was made. We're going to clean it up. But right now, we're getting so much publicity about the speech, and everybody's saying so many nice things about Melania. I'm going to let it play out. We are, again, talking about a controversy at a convention. Michael Beschloss
every night
says, I've never seen anything like this before. Donald Trump comes from the PR school. Any publicity is good publicity. Everybody's talking about this, quote, train wreck of a convention every day, just like they talked about the, quote, train wreck of his campaign every day for 9 months. And it works.
Mark does not look happy.
I think that Mike Pence gave an incredible speech last night, and it's not going to get the coverage that it might have because people are going to talk about Cruz. I think Cruz hurt himself more than he hurt Trump. I think you're right that Trump looks good in some ways for the way they handled it, but I think they'd be better off if people were talking about Mike Pence today. But it doesn't matter because, as we've said now for a couple days, if Trump and Ivanka give great speeches today, the convention will end well. If they come up short, then this convention will be talked about as a convention controversy rather than of achievement.
Hatred and controversy.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, the questions about Republican unity that we know persist seem to me to be highlighted by the notion of, the Republican runner-up not endorsing the nominee. I don't know historically whether that's ever happened before. Maybe it has, but those questions, the large questions that kind of loom over how successful this convention is. Is it bringing the party together? Is it reaching out beyond the base of the party? We're 3 days in. There's not anything that you can look at, I think, over the course of the last 3 days and say, obviously, at this point, that either one of those things has been achieved in a really kind of clear way. Again, I agree with Mark. When it's all over, what everyone's going to remember about this convention is Donald Trump's speech tonight. That's going to be the thing that will linger. But it's hard to think that there's been in these 3 days you can point to a clear win.
Do you know what the unifying moment of this convention has been so far? Ted Cruz being booed last night.
Yeah.
Right.
Even the Texas delegation was angry at their senator for not doing the decent thing. If you're not going to endorse the guy whose convention you've been invited to speak
and your
at, just stay home.
Come on now.
There's nothing wrong with not endorsing Donald Trump.
A
lot of my Republican friends aren't endorsing Donald Trump, but they don't go to the party. And
well, Senator.
And let's just say.
Leave a president in the punch bowl.
Say what you said to the audience.
I can't.
Maybe, though, off of, I agree with you. I mean, he stepped all over the Mike Pence story, the Cruz speech. But,
by the way,
if you're watching it out there in the country and you're interested enough to stick around and watch it on TV, don't you think, Mike Pence's speech and him personally on TV comes across, people look at him, oh, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. That did get across if you stayed tuned. You didn't care about what Cruz did.